Damn you, maid! She killed it twice! So anyway, yeah, God of High School, episode 11 review, right? And goddamn this maid! She keeps killing her master, she's a horrible maid! I mean, in the whole story, right? When, of course, her master losing his, whatever, his powers, right? He's fighting Yigal, you know, evil short man, right? And she stops him. I thought it was just... I have to say it felt very cliche and very stupid, right? She's like, oh no, don't fight him, he's the bad guy, you know. It's like, what? Does she hate Yigal? And of course then her master got owned, right? Turned crazier, and then of course later on when he was absorbing people and so on, she again stopped him from fighting Yigal, and Yigal killed him, probably, right? So, yeah, she did really good. This maid, she did really good there. So, I mean, anyway... he went full hentai, right, and tentacles up and absorbed girls and ate her and so on. Very special ending of the anime. And then of course, you know, God of High School is over now, right? High school part is over. Anyway, before this then, we did have, of course, a martial art fight. The part was great. Yeah, I mean, of course, the main thing I felt was... but this part was great, right? They had a fight, he's going all cube, right? He's summoning little foxfires. He didn't transform. I was hoping he could do like, you know, sex in the jutsu. He didn't do that fortunately. I was hoping for some op-highs, but no. But the thing is that the Kyuubi, right? Of course, Naruto. We all keep talking about Naruto because obviously Naruto made it very, very famous, right? Being one of the biggest animes ever. But the thing is that, as I mentioned in the reaction part, a Kyuubi usually has the power of transformation, like in One Piece 2, right? For example. So I was surprised, honestly, a little bit here in the fight that the Kyuubi here was just pure on fire. I expecting it kind of meant to have all the power streams being able to... I can summon Firefox and punch with fire. Yeah, I was kind of waiting almost for it to have... I don't know, something more than just firepower. He was very linear, I guess, in power. But whatever, right? He's the key. We get the backstory in the beginning, and it's interesting that, you know, the Kyuubi was the one that destroyed the heaven and fought the god and so on, right? And that's why the bad guy wants it, right? Because they're like, we're gonna, you know, the god thing and so on. Yes, they want that shit, right? And of course, the other lesser bad guys. I mean, I'm still wondering, right? What are the other guys? The one that actually are arranging stuff? Are they even good people? Maybe they are. I suppose they kind of are. But I mean, they're probably anti-heroes. Because he's watching this Yigal almost killing everyone. He's like, good for my power. So yeah, that's kind of thing, right? That's called the good, you know, group are quite heinous, right, in their process, right, to get these powers. But anyway, given that Mori won, and I've heard this possibly an anime only thing, so... But anyway, given that Mori won, is he God then? I mean, they all someone in the gods, right? But if Kyuubi is the one to defeat God but couldn't stop God, and then Mori beats him with his like Buddha kind of hand thing there, is he the stronger God? Is he the real God? But that's what you have to wonder with the whole key thing, right? Yes, he could like fuse up with his God, said last week too. While he can like Kurama mode, you know, I'm gonna become one with my Kyuubi here. I don't see why anyone else can't do the same thing, right? Now the Kyuubi actually was important with the whole backstory, so it made it extra important there. But I can't see why Mori wouldn't be able to also fuse up with his dragon or whatever he is, like whatever his god power will be, and so on, right? But anyway, talk about Yigal seems to know everything. I think it's interesting how Yigal knows stuff, and I have to say, from a comedian sense though, there might be the pacing, but I do feel it's kind of funny that only the guys fighting in the warehouse know that he lost and then went over. Yeah, I think that's his strangest anime, because I mean, there's one thing they would know that okay, the Fox guy, he's out of power now. Like the one thing they would know, his his energy is out, his chakra is out. But he lost over there. Who could defeat him? I think it's funny how they are not only aware, right, what's happening with the chakra levels, so to speak, but they're also aware of that he won or lost. How would they know that? Wouldn't they just know that his fight is over, right? And how would they know who actually? Or could they feel? Oh, he lost his power so rapidly, so he must be, he must be losing. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff in the anime. I think the same thing with Yigal, as I mentioned earlier. That Yigal also knows. Yigal is like, I mean, I don't know how Yigal, knowing that the other guy in the hospital he defeated, right? The magician guy, that he's now turning into a monster. Yigal seemed to know that. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's the anime I hope they're gonna explain, but I very much doubt so. as a mini course, is that how not only are the strongest guys knowing what's happening over here, right? They're like, oh, but nobody, yeah. But even Jegal seems to be, of course, be part of Noxus or one, and he knows stuff, right? But how does he specifically know what's happening? Let's show what I mean here. So I mean, he brings out of bed, right? And before he brings out of bed and so on, this whole scene, Jegal seems to know this is happening. I don't understand in the anime. I say it honestly, guys. How does that make any sense? So he seems to know that he was like awakened by feeling either Mori turning into, you know, God Slap or of course QB, but somehow this guy has been triggered by the Gal awakening, right? So there seems to be also a thing that people might get stronger by other Gals or whatever, right? But so that's one thing. But also that Jegal is aware. He's like, huh, that guy is probably breaking free over there. Interesting, yeah. Because he even knew before he was out of this bed, right? He knew that he's leaving the bed. He was like, he can... So, I don't know. I think that in anime, I feel that people complain about the pacing and so on. I think that's some part where you kind of wonder, like, how are they aware of this stuff? How are they aware what's happening in the rest of the city and so on? I don't understand, yeah. So I leave it at that, right? But it's kind of weird. That is definitely kind of weird. It's like, what's this happening? Another thing that I felt was kind of fun in the episode, right? Is of course how no one is leaving the... I don't know, but it reminds me a little bit of My Academia, honestly. In a sense that it was like, oh, they're like blowing up the whole building around us, and I was like, woo, fight, Gambare! And no one in the hall is like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. I do think this is strange, right? I mean, look at this in here, right? I mean, they look a little worried, okay, they look a little bit like, what's happening? But I feel this in here was epic, you know, it's really epic, and as an anime watcher, I can just be, you know, oh my god, there's summoning a lightning tornado, and there's fire, and it's awesome, and you know, I can, you know, yeah, it's badass. But of course, I have to say, I think it's fair to say that I do feel that some of the audience members in this thunderstorm, lightning, is going tour on us. Yeah, I feel they would be like, I'm gonna leave this arena. I wanna go outside and leave the arena. Right? I think that is a little, it is a little strange. Definitely, in my opinion, I think a lot of people should be having a panic attack here and run away, right? And I think that would have made the scene look better, not just because it would be more, normal, to have panic attack, but it also would make Mori look stronger. I think he's fighting, he's summoning his Thunder Tornado, and people around him are like, holy shit, and they're running away. That would make the Thunder Tornado also feel more impactful. Now instead it's like, oh, he's summoning a tornado. That was pretty scary. Yeah, so these people here, I feel the lack of reaction actually makes the tornado looks weaker, because if it's so strong, wouldn't they run away in panic? Right? So I think that's a little silly in that sense. Actually, it makes it look less impactful, right? But anyway, in the end, he summons some kind of CGI demon sky army, like it says, you know, it's over, right? So we see what happens next week, right? That's how it's gonna turn in and so on. I'll say one thing though, which I felt was really strange, and that is that the last guy and Mira didn't have a fight, right? And I guess they cut away that completely here in the anime. And I read something that's not even similar to the anime, and that was strange. So I mean, of course, this guy, right? I mean, after the fight, they still have a chance to fight and so on. Yeah, and Mira. But they just ignored him. He's just been the third wheel. Of course, the girl is in love with. She got all bloody, you know. She's a furry lover. She's like, oh, QB, and she got all blood, right? But the other poor guy, he had no backstory. He just kind of with them, right? He lost his arm though, but yeah, and he didn't get his fight either. So it feels strange. I have to say that, right? As the last point here. I think the episode was really good, but the pacing definitely is all over the place in the anime, and this episode here clearly felt like they had to cut away some parts here. It didn't make any sense. So you suddenly. He defeated him, the fight's over, and then they're at hospital, right? Yeah, it was like there was at least one more fight after this, and so on, right? Another push happening, and like what's happening with the drunk guy and so on. Yeah, so there's a little of why is even Gal there to begin with? Why's he even there? Yeah, they kinda I feel they're skipping over some parts there here in between this fight in hospital, yeah. And then they talked about Grandpa. It was very, very quickly summarized too, so it is weirdly paced. It's like fighting arc, suddenly into monster tentacle hentai stuff, and then you know God summoning from death, and it's like the end. Yeah, it felt like it probably should be another 10 minutes in between, at least 10 minutes, right? After the QB fight into the next fight, should be a lot more time there probably. That felt strange. These things felt strange, but it was good to see was also nose blooded also. and then she lost her leg there. So yeah, Jegal is the worst net guy ever. He keeps taking your girlfriend's legs, right? Yeah, he's not a nice guy. But damn that maid though, it's all her fault. Yeah, think about that. If the maid hadn't stopped him, right? I'll say it again here. If the maid hadn't stopped him to fight, if she hadn't stopped the Jegal fight, Jegal would have lost, right? And she would be fine, her master would be fine, and these two guys would also be fine, right? But no. She's like, oh no, master, don't go angry and kill him. He's like, why would she do that? And then of course in the end, she's like, oh no, master, and then again, and then they all lost their legs. As a reaction though, I would say one thing though, I don't super hate on Jegal, on these two people though, because while he's like, I got her leg also, bro. Oh yeah, it's evil, right? It's clearly evil. But I felt that he mainly aimed to kill the other guy, right? And these two were used, they were like collateral damage. But it was like, he's like, hey, I got them too. It's like bonus points. But I didn't feel like he actually did it on purpose. It's like more like, oh, it's happened. I gotta enjoy it because it happened. So I would more blame, the guy losing his powers more than Jegal at that sense. I would blame them both, of course, but By the way, so you guys tomorrow Black Clover, Black Clover new arc that is interesting, following normal life, maybe. I really liked last episode because it was like how is it to live as a normal female married bad husband, and so interesting. And that is of course doing Fruit Basket, in about an hour from now, of course, soon ending there, right? See what happens there, the love story and so on. Interesting. Now I see you guys and have a great